even if Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga, a strong candidate to succeed Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, takes office. Strained relations between Seoul and Tokyo are expected to continue for the time being. Suga is also continuing to take a hardline stance on historical issues with South Korea by inheriting Abe's foreign policy. In an interview with the Yomiuri Shimbun Monday, he said he would conduct a stern response to Korea's breach of international law. The remark referred to the South Korean Supreme Court October 2018 ruling that ordered Japanese firms to compensate Korean victims for their forced labor during its 1910 to 1945 colonial rule. Suga has served as the Chief Cabinet Secretary since 2012 when Abe was re-elected and assisted the Prime Minister as the second in command. As a spokesman for the Japanese government, he has firmly resisted the highest court ruling and claimed that the issue of wartime compensation was resolved under the 1965 South Korea-Japan bilateral treaty for normalizing relations. In a Sankei Shimbun interview Sunday, Suga made it clear that the 1965 treaty is the basis of the two nations' relations and the two countries must respect it. The remarks are seen to suggest that despite the upcoming change in Japanese leadership, there will be no drastic changes in Japan's rigid position regarding issues with South Korea, including the history and trade route that have dragged bilateral relations down to the lowest level since ties were normalized in 1965. In another recent interview with the Mainichi Shimbun, Suga also indirectly criticized Moon's administration that virtually nullified the controversial Comfort Women Accord in 2015, saying continuity is important in diplomacy. In other words, there is still a big gap from Seoul's position that the root cause of conflict lies in Tokyo's denial of its past wrongdoings and avoidance of responsibility for the war of aggression. Suga would serve as Prime Minister for the remainder of Abe's term until September next year, and he is likely to succeed the Abe administration's policy as the Prime Minister of the Transitional Cabinet. Seoul-Tokyo relations are unlikely to improve anytime soon, and he will not respond to Cheong Wa-dae's hopes to improve ties. Our government will continue to work with Japan's newly elected Prime Minister and new cabinet to promote friendly and cooperative relations between South Korea and Japan, the South Korean Presidential Office said in a statement after Abe's resignation announcement. However, some observers say that Suga could be more flexible in foreign policy, given that his ideological beliefs are not as strong as Abe's obsession with historical revisionism that caused friction with neighboring countries. In fact, some in Korea are hopeful that Abe's departure could set the mood or generate a momentum for a turnaround in relations between Korea and Japan, given that he was one of Japan's post-war representative, revisionist, right-wing politicians. Therefore, opinions pointing out that Korea might need to make best use of this transitional period in Japanese politics to get bilateral relations back on track are gaining traction. What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching Korea Now.